What's up, everyone? This is Joe from BuildAssetsOnline.com. Coming at you with the new microphone. Let me know how it sounds today, guys. A few people said the volume was too low, so I boosted that up. Hopefully, it doesn't pick up other noises that I'm not intending it to. But let's get right into the topic. Today, we're talking about keyword golden ratio, aka KGR, plus high ticket dropshipping, and why I think it's an absolute match made in heaven. And we're going to get into a small preliminary case study that my brother and I are doing. So the reason this came up is, if you guys don't know, last week or so, or earlier this week, Mike and I were on the Doug Cunnington show. I'll leave a link to that podcast or the show in the description below. Doug is kind of the one that, I don't know if he came up with it, but he's the one that kind of made the keyword golden ratio famous and really scaled it. And it's something that I tried in the past and I liked it, but I'm going to get into a little more detail about my experience with it and also how it relates to high ticket dropshipping. So let's get right to it. Whoops, wrong button. How do I do this? There we go. Okay. So what is the keyword golden ratio? For those of you who don't know, who don't watch Doug's channel, basically when you're doing SEO, when you're trying to optimize a page to rank in Google, basically to find if a keyword fits in the keyword golden ratio criteria, you divide the all-in title results by the search volume. So what you would do is you would type all-in title : and then the search query, and then divide the search volume by 250. First of all, the search volume has to be 250 or below, and then you divide the all-in title by the search volume, and it must equal 0.25. That means that there's very few other pages online that are targeting the same keyword, and you have a good chance to rank for it. For me, what I've found is sometimes that I will, let me take a step back for a second. Let me see if I talk about this next. Okay, so I'll touch on this in the next slide, but now you're not supposed to go over 250 for the search volume, and Doug strongly advises against that. But what I have found on one of our content sites is that I went for a higher competition keyword. I wasn't even calculating KGR when I made some of these, but I went for a much higher higher search volume keyword. And if you plug it into the KGR formula, it still works when the search volume is 250. So for example, say the search volume is 1,000 and the all-in title results are 10. To me, I believe that is a good KGR term to go for. Doug says don't go down, above 250 search volumes a month. But the thing is that as long as it works, if you set the search volume to 250, I think it's a good keyword to go for. But I don't want to get too bogged down with that. I just wanted to mention that from my experience. Okay. So recently, because I was on the Doug show, it kind of reminded me about this. This is something I had tested a year or two ago when we first got into diversifying from dropshipping and making some content sites. So after the Doug show, I was like, let me take another look at that KGR stuff. And I noticed that 95% of the best performing stuff on all of our content sites was KGR. And some of it I didn't even plan. In fact, most of it, I wasn't even doing KGR at the time. And I only did a few KGR articles back in the day, and they ranked well, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I kind of moved on to some other stuff. But yeah, I noticed that these articles that I did KGR inadvertently were ranking really well, and they were starting to even rank for the head terms, the higher volume terms. So, and to be perfectly honest with you, my brother and I, our main focus of our business is the high ticket dropshipping store. We are making $2,000 to $3,000 a month in revenue from our content sites, trying to grow them aggressively. But we've tried, different strategies to try and grow them, and I think we're kind of now really narrowing down what the 80-20 of it is, to where you can really start investing heavily and have something that works consistently. Because we built hundreds of links, all white hat, and still, they didn't really get us anywhere, because I think, probably targeting the wrong terms, but KGR has provided the quickest wins by far and the least amount of money and effort by far. So, for the least amount of money and effort. So, even before we were on the Doug Show, we started a store to go along with one of our dropshipping. We started a content site to go along with one of our dropshipping stores. And we weren't calculating KGR at the time, but we were going for really, really low competition stuff. And as a matter of fact, we weren't even really using any keyword tools, just seeing the Google autocomplete. If it would complete a keyword, we would go for it. And the reason why we were doing that is because we knew that we know that even if we spend like $10,000 on this site and it gets us one sale a month, this particular dropshipping store that we're talking about, we had a sale yesterday where we made like $4,000. So, and we make $1,000 per sale regularly. Some sales are, a couple hundred, but regardless, all you need is one sale a month to making a site like this worth it. So we started building a small little niche site to go along with the dropshipping store. We probably could have done it on the same domain, but I don't know. I wanted to try it on a different domain, and so I kind of alluded to this already, but high ticket when you're doing high ticket dropshipping, the KGR stuff becomes a lot more powerful because, again, you get one order, you can make way more than an Amazon affiliate commission, like way more. I just threw some numbers out there for the store we're talking about, but there's also way less competition because everyone's going after Amazon terms. Like that's kind of the default in the internet marketing space is people are just going after the Amazon terms. Like they want to rank for best juicer for greens or something. Like everyone goes after that stuff. So when you take it down to products that you're selling yourself, it becomes a whole different ball game, and then you can really do what I like to call asset amplification, where you start to have two forms of traffic for an asset, and it just makes it way more valuable. So now I'm going to get into a little bit of the preliminary results. I'm going to do a follow-up video on this later because you're going to see the site just started. We published the first article late March, early April. Not all of them were KGR, but a lot of them were by accident. When I went back and looked at them, because we were just doing autocomplete because we were just targeting the products that are in the store. And so, like I mentioned, these are extremely valuable terms. So we published 75 articles so far and are getting 100 plus organics a week and growing fast, which I think is a really good sign considering that like we're not even out of the sandbox yet. Like, here, this is the analytics chart, but so around here was when the first articles were published. Like 2-3 months ago at this point. We kind of started ramping up around this point, and now we're getting over 100 hits a week for these really valuable terms. And like I mentioned, once we start to get even, once we hit 100 visitors a day, there's no way we're not going to get an extra sale from that at least once a week, twice a week. And it's just going to become way more valuable. And if we can scale it to 1,000 hits per day, 500 hits per day, it's game over as far as I'm concerned. So I hope this kind of demonstrated to you, give you some insights into our strategy and the way you can kind of stack business models online, because it's not always about just doing what everyone else is doing and just sticking to that one thing. It's about combining things in a way that they're going to amplify each other. So I'll leave links to Doug's KGR playlist in the description below. Of course, links to our free course. And I'll leave links to link to the podcast as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope the mic sounds good. Still trying to tweak it, get things right. And we'll see you in the next one. Hope you guys have a great day.